So welcome to our class, and it is our first first week of online classes with the coronavirus. So everything is changing moment by moment. Things are closing, everything is canceled. And so I know I can feel it in myself, and I can feel it around me that there's a lot of fear and anxiety. And one of the things that I find most helpful when I feel that way, when I feel a lot of anxiety, is doing a yoga practice. It's always better with other people, but this is the best we can do to keep ourselves safe and be together to some extent. So fear is one of the 5 kleshas. The kleshas are ways that we kind of don't interact with the world in healthy ways. So, when our ego is inflated or we're really clinging to something, and I feel myself clinging to wanting things to be normal right now, or we push things away. I don't want this to be happening, and we get really angry about that. So we have these ways of behaving that aren't always very functional or helpful to us. And one of those, or ways of feeling or behaving, one of those is fear. So it's one of the 5 kleshas. So one is not seeing things clearly. One is having an inflated ego, or as I said, clinging or aversion. And then the 5th one of the 5 kleshas is fear. And what they say about fear is we can work with the other 4. We can get better at the other 4. We can, stop our clinging, stop our aversion. We can get our ego in check, but we can't eradicate fear. Fear is inborn in us. It's part of our nervous system. It's part of how we function in the world, and it's how we survived. If we didn't have fear, we wouldn't be here, right? We'd be eaten by saber-toothed tigers or whatever was a threat to us in the past. So here we are with our fear, and we have to be with it in some way or other. So we can either be with it where we kind of churn it up and make it worse, and or we can be with it in a way that we calm it down. And so one thing fear does is it gives us tunnel vision. We kind of only see what's right in front of us, and we kind of miss the bigger picture. So having literally just looking around when you feel fearful and taking in the bigger picture can be helpful just as a practice in itself. And the other thing we can do is we can distract ourselves, because what often happens when we're fearful is we get stuck in a loop where something hasn't happened, but we're afraid that it's going to happen, and we just keep going and going and going, or going in circles. And so we can distract ourselves, and yoga is a wonderful way of distracting in a way that's healthy, that feeds us. So we're going to distract ourselves with some yoga practice tonight. We're going to start seated today. We normally start lying down, but today we're going to start seated. The class that I taught earlier, we started lying down. So you can sit on your couch, you can sit on a chair, you can sit on the floor. It doesn't matter as long as you are comfortable. So I'll see you in your seat. So get comfy. And I'm going to sit in a chair. So I have a meditation cushion here, but I also have a chair, and I've been sitting on the floor a lot today, so I'm going to come to sit on my chair. So if you're sitting on a chair, I recommend that you sit forward in the chair, so you're kind of sitting a bit more towards the front of the seat, so you're not kind of rounding and slumping back. Sorry if you can hear my phone ringing. It's kind of been going nonstop. So from here, let's find a sense of being grounded. So you can close your eyes if you like. Feel where your sit bones make contact with your chair or your cushion or the ground, wherever you're sitting. If your couch is really soft, it may not be the best place to be sitting. So a firmer surface is a little easier to stay upright and feel grounded in. Also, if you're sitting on a chair, you might be aware of your feet on the ground. If you're sitting cross-legged, you may be aware of the parts of your legs or feet that are on the ground. Feel where your hands meet your legs or rest in your lap. So feel that pressure. And see if you can let your shoulders sink down away from your ears. And draw the chin slightly down towards the front of your chest so that the back of the neck is long. And then do all of that, but find a little more softness, a little more ease. So it might be relaxing your jaw a little bit more or your hands a little bit more. So finding where you might be holding tension. And we all hold tension slightly differently. And finding just a little more softness. If you like, you can close your eyes and start to tune into the rhythm and the flow of your breath. Feel the inhale expanding, the exhale softening. And take a moment to notice your physical body. So, feeling whatever is present for you. Tuning into your breath, feeling its rhythm and its flow. And then noticing where your mind is at. So, perhaps today, more than most days, your mind may be a little bit distracted. So, notice that and maybe notice where it gets drawn to. But try not to get drawn with it. So you're really noticing as though you're a casual observer, as if it's, oh yeah, I notice the TV's on in the background. I can hear it, but I'm not being drawn to it. I'm not watching it. So it's there. So let your mind be like that. Be aware that your thoughts are happening, maybe even be aware of what keeps drawing your attention, but then come back to your breath. And then tune into any emotions that may be present. So again, it's a pretty emotional time for many, and it's not about dwelling there or spiraling down into those challenging thoughts or feelings, but acknowledging what's present, what's true, what's real for you right now. And if that's churning guts and lots of anxiety, acknowledge that. There's no need to push it away or to deny that feeling. We're not trying to fix anything here. We're really simply trying to tune in and give ourselves the space to be whatever it is that we are right now. So, as I mentioned, two ways of kind of working with fears. One is to let go of this or move out of this tunnel vision by opening up your vision. And the other is to distract, to find other things to draw our attention. So we're going to start by moving the head around and just as we do, kind of taking in the space around you. And we're not at the studio, so you're all in your own spaces. So turning your head to one side and let your eyes follow and look all the way behind you. See as far as you can look behind you and notice what's there. If your house is a mess, Don't dwell on it. Just notice where your eyes want to go. And then come back to the center and to the other side. Again, looking behind and coming back to the center. Let's take the eyes and look up without lifting the head. Look up as high as you can look without letting your head lift. So you're also stretching the eyes and doing a little eye exercise as well. And then look down as far as you can look down without moving your head down. Good. And then we're going to take the eyes in a circle. So if you look up as if you're looking at a clock, looking up towards 12 o'clock, and then slowly roll your eyes down to the side and all the way down to you're looking down at 6 o'clock, and then roll up the other side to 12 o'clock. Good. And then come back to the center. Well, let's take the hands and create some heat. I'm sitting in front of this nice cozy fireplace here, so it's actually very warm in my space. I'm trying to see the thermostat, it's about 23 degrees. And once you've got some heat, you can bring your hands over your eyes and just let your eyes relax and feel a sense of softening your eyelids, softening your eyes. And you want the palms, I've got my microphone here, so I'm not demonstrating it very well, but palms over the eyes so there's no pressure on your actual eyelids. Right. And then you can lower the hands down and we'll move into a cat-cow movement. Now, if you would rather move onto all fours, if that's more comfortable for you and your spine will move a little more on all fours, but I know not everyone's got the knees that are willing to do that. So either way, so we'll take a breath in, arching the back, and then rounding the back. So arching and rounding, working also with your breath. So you can exhale as you round the back and inhale as you arch. Go at your own speed. Right. And then you can do this again on all fours or seated is to make some circles. So if you're on all fours, you might circle your hips towards your heels and around. And seated, you can circle the torso around. So going one way, going the other way. Right. And then coming back to the center. So the next series, again, working with the breath. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can do this from a kneeling position. So you'd come to sit on your heels, or you can do it from a chair. So if you're kneeling, you're going to lift up and lift your arms overhead, or follow me if you're in a chair. And then exhale, if you're kneeling, you'll come to child's pose or a forward bend on the chair. If you're kneeling, you'll come to all fours and arch. If you're sitting, you'll lift up and arch. Good. If you're on all fours, exhale, child's pose. And then inhale, lift all the way up. So again, you'd be in high kneeling if you're kneeling. Exhale, hands to the thighs. Do this a few more times. I'll demonstrate once more seated, and then I'll show you kneeling if that's not making sense to you. So we're going to lift up with the breath in. Exhale, child's pose or forward bend. Inhale, either lifting upright and arching or coming to all fours. Exhale back to the forward bend. Inhale, lifting all the way up. Good. And exhale to come back to starting position. So continue a couple more times. You can either be on your chair or kneeling. So kneeling would look like this, coming up. You can also start in the up position if your knees don't want to flex fully. Exhale, child's pose. Inhaling all fours. exhale back to child's pose. Inhaling, lifting all the way up. And exhaling back to wherever it was that you started. So we'll do that one more time. This time, for those who are doing this from a kneeling sequence, you could add downward dog, and you can stay in the forward bend if you're on the chair. So you come up with the breath in. Exhale, forward. Inhale, all fours. And then again, exhale, either coming to a forward bend on the chair or coming to downward dog, or you can go back to child's pose. So finding your way to whichever position you like. If you're in downward dog, you could walk the feet in place perhaps, maybe keep the knees bent so that the spine is nice and long. And if you're in downward dog, you'll come back to all fours. If you're seated, you can lift up into the arch position and then forward again to child's pose, and then lifting all the way up. And again, coming back to wherever you started. So you can stay seated on the ground or on your chair for the next movements. We'll do a little bit of release for the shoulders, arms, and wrists. So lifting the shoulders up, taking a breath in, roll them back and down. So you can lift, roll back and down. Good, and then lifting the arms up overhead, bend the elbows. And draw the elbows down and back, breathing in. And then exhale, bring the hands, elbows together. You could also do this standing if you don't want to sit for this. Exhale, hands and elbows towards each other. Inhale, coming apart. Great, and then letting the arms relax, we'll do some circles for the wrists. One direction and then going the other direction. Good, and then give it a shake. Shake it out. Right. So we're going to make our way to stand now. So however you get there is fine. And we'll come to mountain pose. So that's feet about hip distance apart. Hips over the heels, arms down at your sides. And then come into that sense of feeling yourself connected to the earth again. Feel your heels drop down. Feel the shoulders move away from the ears. You could close your eyes as long as you feel steady here, and take some nice, even breaths. So just breathing in, breathing out, and feeling that sense of being connected to the earth. So take the feet a little bit apart, just bring some bit of fluidity and movement to the hips so you can circle your hips around. Go both directions, so a few times one way, a few times the other. Great, and then coming back to the center, you can release the arms down to your sides. So keeping the feet apart, you can soften the knees a little bit, and we'll move into a side bend. So we're going to take one arm up, breathing in. As you exhale, reach over to the side, and then inhale, come up, Exhale and release down. Inhale, lift to the other side. Lift the other arm. Exhale, move to the other side. Inhale, come back up. Exhale and release. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale to the side. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Once more. Right. And then keeping the knees soft, let's roll the shoulders, one, and then the other. Right. And then let's come again back to the center and bring the feet in. Big breath in, exhale, soften and sink down again. So this idea of continually coming back to feeling grounded, to feeling settled, especially when we're maybe feeling a little unsettled. So coming back to that grounded place in between. We're going to add a forward bend now. So lifting up with the breath in. As you exhale, come forward. You can bend your knees. In fact, it's a really good idea as you come forward. Let your head release. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins and lengthen. Exhale, release and fold forward. And then inhale and come all the way up, reaching up overhead. And exhale, arms to the sides. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, forward. Inhale, hands to shins, come part way up. Exhale, release down. Inhale, lift all the way up. And exhale to release. Let's do that one more time. Right. So from here, let's move into another grounding posture, the tree pose. This might be a great opportunity to use that chair again. If you want to help with your balance, you can have your chair handy. I encourage you to try without your chair and then use it if you need it, so that we're actually working on balance rather than immediately going for the chair. But do what you need to do so that you feel safe and comfortable. So if you're using a chair, it's easiest if we work with the leg that's furthest away from the chair. So what you'll do is you'll shift your weight to the other foot. You come on to the toes of the leg that you're going to lift and turn it out to the side. And then we can place the foot wherever it's comfortable on the leg. You often, and I often give the instruction to not press against the knee, and that is that may be what's best for you. You don't want to press hard into the knee or feel any kind of pain or tension in the knee at all. So I would suggest going a little below the knee or a little above the knee if possible. If where your foot rests is just the right spot is against the knee, just check in that you're pressing into that foot with the leg as you press into the leg with your foot. So you're not pushing hard against the knee. But below or above works as well. So from here, if you like, you can lift the arms overhead. And then as you release, you can bring the arms down and bring the foot down. Now the standing leg has done a lot of work, so you can give it a little shake and release. So if you're using a chair for support, bring it to the other side. Right, and again, we'll come onto the toes of the other foot. opening the knee to the side, and then bringing the foot to wherever it comfortably lands. So if that comfortable place is right around your knee, being cautious there, maybe going a little below or a little above if you're feeling any discomfort in the knee. And either way, we're pressing in with the standing leg as we press in with the foot against the leg. So there's a balancing effect, pushing against each other to create balance. And then again, you could reach the arms overhead if you like. And breathe. Great, and then we'll release the arm, release the leg. And you can give everything a little shake out, but especially the standing leg. Right, so coming back to Tadasana, heels dropping down, heart lifting. And we're going to come into another forward bend. I'm just going to move a little away from the chair. So taking the arms up overhead. Good. This time, as you exhale and come forward, you can bring the arms behind your back, palms facing up, head coming down, and then lifting up with a breath in, exhaling, and releasing forward. And a few more at your own pace. Right, and then as you come up this time, we'll stay upright and release the arms to the sides. So for the next one, we'll work with warrior pose. Warrior pose is such a great pose for stretching and strengthening the legs and extending and flexing the spine. You can use a chair if that works for you to bring your hands down. So we're going to add a forward bend in warrior. If you have blocks and you want to use blocks, you can use blocks. So for most people having the chair, you would face the chair, seat towards you. If you have blocks, you can use blocks. And I've come up with, maybe you've seen this already, I put a little post on Facebook earlier about common household items that we could use as yoga props during this time where we're not at the studio. And what I came up with for blocks is something I know you all have lots of, which is toilet paper. Right? So toilet paper actually makes pretty decent blocks. I was surprised. So if you have a couple rolls of toilet paper, and I know you probably have 20, 30, 50 because I couldn't get any. These are my last 2 rolls and I'm using them as yoga props. I'm kidding. But you can use those or use blocks or again, use your chair, whatever works for you. So we're going to start near the front of the mat. We'll lift up in a forward bend. Lift up and getting ready for a forward bend, coming forward. You'll bring your hands to your blocks, or it could be to the chair, or whatever else that you might have, or if you can reach the ground comfortably, that's another option. So let's take the right foot, step it back, and place the foot so that it's turned slightly toward the right, and making sure that you're comfortable in this position with whatever it is that you're using to support you, whether it's blocks, floor, or the chair. And then we'll move up in Warrior One, breathing in. Exhale, lower the arms to the sides and bring your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers and lift the chest, or you can have the arms separate. Good, breathing in. Good, exhale here. And then inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, come forward to the chair, the blocks, or the floor, or toilet paper rolls if that's what you've got. And we'll move the front leg a little more bent, a little more straight a few times. Try to let your head release down so that there's no strain in your neck. You can find a position where the front leg is a little bit straighter. Stay there for a few breaths. And then bending the knee, we'll lift up again in Warrior One, breathing in. Exhale, release the arms, bring them behind your back, interlace or keep the arms separate as you inhale, lifting. Good, exhale here, and then inhale, lift the arms up, and exhale, come forward. We'll step forward and take the hands to the shins, lengthening. Exhale and release. Inhale and lift all the way up. Exhale, arms down. And again, inhale, lift. Exhale and come forward. Bring your hands to whatever you're working with. Take your left foot and step it back, turning the foot a little to the left so it's comfortable and your whole foot is on the ground. And then from there, you can bend the front knee. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, arms down to the sides. Bring them behind your back, interlace if that's comfortable, or separate if not. Lifting the chest, breathing in here. And exhale here. Inhale, take the arms up overhead. Exhale, come forward. And then we'll bend and straighten the knee a few times. Again, try to let your head relax. So often when we're feeling fearful, when we're feeling a little hypervigilant, and I can feel myself doing this, keeping my head up. I don't need to see you guys. You're not actually here. It's a little bit of a habit that I'm looking at the screen and looking ahead. But if we can really let go, it gives the nervous system that message that everything's fine. When we're hypervigilant, we're always trying to look around and see where the threat might be coming from next. So let your head hang down here. Know that you are safe. Know that you're protected, that you're loved, that everything is going to be okay. And then let go a little more. Right. And then we'll come back up in warrior, breathing in. And exhale, arms come down and back. You can interlace your fingers if that's comfortable, lifting with a breath in. You'll exhale here. Inhale, lift all the way up. And exhale, come forward. Step forward, bringing the feet side by side. Inhaling, hands to shins as you lengthen. Exhaling to release and fold forward, letting your head go. Bend your knees a little. You can bring your elbows to your thighs if you like, or cross your arms and hold them for a little bit more weight and traction. And maybe one or two more breaths here. I think I might be eating the microphone. There we go. And then coming all the way up, breathing in, reaching up, exhaling to release. So we'll turn to the side. If you were with me in class last week, we did this little move that started with hands together, feet side by side, and we opened to the right side. It doesn't really matter which side you open to. So you want to open so that you're facing the screen. And I'm just going to move my blocks here. So we'll take one foot and turn it towards the side. So if you've stepped to the right, you might take your right foot. So it's pointing back, but it really doesn't matter which foot you start with. Press down into the ball of your foot and pull up on the thigh so you feel your kneecap engaged, your thigh engaged, and that's going to help to protect your knee a little bit from hyperextension. If you feel hyperextended, if you feel like the knee is locked and kind of jammed there, bend it a little bit. Good. So you can have it a little bent, a little micro bend or straight, as long as it's not kind of straight and locked and flaccid. So you want to keep that thigh engaged. The other foot, whatever angle is comfortable. So it might turn in slightly or be straight, arms to the sides. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, reach a little bit towards the side, and then bring the hand down toward your leg. So it could rest on your leg. If you're going to rest it on your leg, I would recommend to bend the knee just a little bit so you're not pushing back to hyperextend the leg. The other arm reaching up. Okay, take a few breaths here. And then we're going to lift up to the center, and this time bend the knee. Now you want to make sure that your knee is not going past your ankle, which puts a strain on the knee. So if you feel like you want to be lower in the pose, take it a little wider here. And traditionally this pose would be done with the feet a little bit wider. But it's up to you. So you can be as wide as having the thigh parallel to the ground. I'm not quite that low. Or you could be anywhere closer together is fine. So from here, arms to the sides. This time we'll take the forearm down onto the thigh or the hand, whichever is better for you. And we're going to move this upper arm in a bit of a circle. So taking it down by the hip. And then you can turn your shoulders toward the ground. Extend the arm overhead and come all the way up. So again, going down and reaching around. Now, if that bothers your shoulder, make your circle smaller, or you might bend the elbow as it comes overhead so that it's a little bit more comfortable. Next time you're circling, you can lift all the way up. And now we're in Warrior Two. So Warrior Two is a strength pose. Arms are parallel to the ground. And you can turn to look over the hand that's corresponds to the leg that's bent. So feel your strength, feel your sturdiness. So warriors don't have no fear. I mean, they have fear, but it's about how we manage our fear. So fear is not bad. Fear is absolutely normal. It's in all of us. No matter how much we work on ourselves, we're never going to get rid of it. But we can find strength and courage in our fear. And Warrior Two teaches us that because it's a pose of resilience. Good. If you feel tired, bend your arms a little bit, even turn your palms up, move the leg a little straighter, but see if you can stay with Warrior Two for another few breaths. Right. When you're ready, you can straighten the leg, turn the feet parallel, lower the arms, and let's bring the feet together for a moment and just give them a little shake out before we come into that sequence on the other side. So when you're ready, you can take the feet wide again. And we'll turn the other foot out. And the opposite foot can, again, find the angle that suits you. So slightly in, slightly out, or straight is fine. Pressing down into the ball of your foot and pulling up into the thigh, engaging the knee and the thigh. And then arms to the sides. I'm realizing as the light fades outside, I'm getting a shadow puppet behind me. So maybe I feel just have a little more company right now. So again, micro bend the knee if you feel like you're hyperextending. We're going to reach a little to the side, but not throw the hip out behind. Let the hand come down. Again, you could bend slightly, or if there's no pressure on the hand, you can keep the leg straight. Reaching up. Good. And then come back upright. We're going to bend the knee, and again, you might play around with the distance. If you want more challenge, make it a wider pose. If you want less challenge, a lot narrower is easier. So finding what suits you best. Good. And from here, we'll take the forearm or the hand onto the thigh, the other arm reaching up. And again, we'll make that circle. So you'll come down by the hip, down toward the ground, reaching up and over, bending the arm as you need to be more comfortable in your shoulder. Good. You can lift right up with the next circle, coming to warrior two. So in warrior two, you want to make sure that knee is pointing straight in line with your toes. So it's not twisting in and putting pressure on the knee joint. Good. If you're not sure, move the legs straighter. If there's pressure or discomfort in your knee, definitely move the legs straighter and bring the legs closer together. So again, in warrior two, you can look out over the hand that corresponds to the bent leg. Feel your body even over your legs so you're not leaning one way or the other. And feel the grounding of this pose. Maybe connecting with your own strength and courage, even if it feels small today. Right, and then when you're ready, we'll straighten the leg, turn the feet parallel, lower the arms down, and step your feet together. And give it all a little shake. So after all that side bending, let's do some forward bending to bring things back to feeling even and equal. So again, lifting up with the breath in. Good, let's exhale, come forward. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins and lengthen. Exhale, release and fold forward. Inhale, lift all the way up. And exhale, releasing the arms down. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, forward. Inhale, hands to shins, lengthen. Exhale, release and fold forward. Inhale, lift all the way up. And exhale, down. Great, you can do a couple more in your own time. Right, and then coming back to Tadasana. So my poor puppy has been locked away in my bedroom most of the day while I've been teaching and doing online stuff. So I could hear her and she just had to come out and say hello. So this is Chai, everybody. She's my yoga companion. And we're going to get down on the floor. We're going to come to sit. So if you have a small blanket or something you can sit on, that might be helpful. Or you might roll up the end of your mat a little bit so you've got a little lift under your sit bones. You could also come to sit on a chair, and there's a version of this that we could do on a chair as well. Hi, sweetheart. So you're going to come to sit. This could be interesting. So if you stretch your legs out in front of you, hi, sweetheart. Good. We're going to open the legs to the sides into a V. Keep going. And then bring one leg in so that the foot is near the thigh or the knee, sort of like how we were in tree pose. You gonna go lie down, sweetie? She's just too excited to be out and about. So Janu Shirshasana. One leg out, one foot in towards the thigh, and we're going to move dynamically, lifting up and coming forward over the leg. And then lifting up and coming forward over the leg. So you can do that a few times. Good. There you go. There you go. Sorry, guys, she's not able to get to her water dish, so I just have to help her. All right, there you go. All the growing pains of teaching so much online. Normally I'm not here, so she just sleeps. And here comes her sidekick. So I apologize for that interruption. You can go ahead and stay in the pose for a few breaths if it's comfortable for you. So we've done a few dynamically. You can go ahead and stay. And then you'll come up with a breath in and release as you exhale. So we'll go to the other side. So stretching the opposite leg out, the other leg tucks in. Here is another wonderful place to use your toilet roll. So you could bring it under the knee, or a blanket would work there as well, if you need support under that knee. So if it feels like you're pulling up and it's uncomfortable, just go ahead and support it. So we're going to again move dynamically. You're moving, turning towards the leg. Exhale, coming forward. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, forward. And again, you could stay for a few breaths. As you're staying soft and relaxed through the back of the body, through the shoulders, the face, the neck. And then when you're ready, you can come up with a breath in. Exhale, release. Stretch the legs out. Give them a little shake. And then we'll bring the soles of the feet together and the knees apart. And you can stay with your hands behind you. This is, I don't want to swear, but this is pretty funny. We just had a little dog vomit in the class, so fun and games over here. So from here, if you want a little bit more, you can. Now, as long as this is comfortable for you, you could bring your hands to your ankles, pull up a little to find length in the spine. And then again, if it's available to you, if it feels comfortable, you can go ahead and let your back round a little bit, let your head come down, and stay here for a few breaths. So you go ahead and stay in that pose. You can certainly come out of the pose anytime you need to. Right, and then when you do come out of the pose, stretch your legs out in front of you, give them a little shake. And then we'll bring the feet to the floor and a little side to side movement. So down to one side, to the center, to the other side. You can add that little twist if you like. So as you come down to one side, releasing the opposite arm, bringing the hand behind you to the leg or to the floor, lifting up as you twist, and then coming around to the other side. The twist is optional, so if that feels good for you, you can add it. If not, you might just let the knees go side to side. Right, and then when you come back to the center, you can, again, stretch your legs out, give them a little shake, and then come to lie down on your mat. So as you come to lie down, take a moment to settle, bring your hands onto your body where you feel your breath, so belly or chest, rib cage, and take a few breaths here. letting go of the effort of the practice, letting go of the activity and the movement. We will do a little bit more movement before we come into our rest pose of Shavasana. But for now, just letting the breath settle and starting to feel yourself grounded. So where you feel your body against the earth, letting it drop down a little more and release a little more. And let's take the knees up in toward the chest. So helping to feel really grounded through the lower back as we bring the knees in. Feel your lower back long and released on the ground. And then move the knees away with the breath in. Feel the weight move out toward the sacrum and then back into the lower back as you exhale and bring the knees in. So moving at your own pace here, inhaling, the knees move away. Exhaling, the knees draw in. And then you can keep one knee in while you stretch the other leg out. So you can press down into the heel. And if you want to work a little bit on engaging through the abdominal muscles, you can lift the foot a little bit off the ground. But as long as that doesn't create tension in your neck, your shoulders, or your face, you're reaching out through your heel and keeping soft except where you need to engage to hold the leg. And then we can switch sides. So again, the foot could be on the floor and reaching out. You still want to keep the leg engaged. If it feels like you can do this without strain, you might lift the foot slightly off the ground and then really check in. Can I just use the amount of effort that's required to lift the leg and not more? So shoulders, neck, face, stay relaxed. Good. And then bring that knee in as well. And go back to the forward and back movement that we were doing a moment ago. And then let's stretch the arms and legs toward the ceiling and do some circles with the ankles and the wrists. One way and the other way. And then give everything a shake. Just as if you could shake off any tension that you've been carrying with you, any fear, any anxiety. Just shake it off for now. It may still be there. Maybe we can lessen it a little bit by just letting go. And then when you're ready, you can bring your feet to the floor. And we are going to move into Shavasana now. So if you want to, do any of the normal things that you do before Shavasana, like put some extra clothes on, or maybe grab a blanket if you like, or you can get really comfy if you're at home. So you don't have to lie on the floor for Shavasana. You could get on the couch, or, depending where you are, you could even lie down on your bed. So lots of options. For all I know, you've been on your bed the whole time just watching me and not doing any yoga at all. So it's one of the drawbacks of not being able to see you. So you're going to stay lying down. I'm coming to sit so I can guide you through Shavasana. So take your time to find the most comfortable position for you today. So come back to an awareness of your body and the connection of your body to the earth. Feel how you are part of the earth, how you're connected to the earth. Part of why it's so important to us to keep a social connection is that we are literally connected to one another through our physical makeup. We're all part of the same material, coming from the same place. We all have the same basic needs. So feeling that physical body, feeling the earth beneath you, and as much as possible, softening and settling and dropping into the support of the earth. Feel yourself safe. Know that you're protected, that you can let go, maybe even close your eyes and really release down through the back of the head. Let your shoulders and arms release, especially the hands letting go. Let your jaw relax even more and all the muscles of your face soften. Let your rib cage get a little heavier, and then the lower back and the belly release and relax and drop down. Feel your pelvis get heavier as you let go of any holding around the hips, the buttocks, or the lower abdomen. Your thighs release. Calves, ankles, and feet let go. So at this time of uncertainty, I'd like to share with you a chant that brings me a lot of comfort. It's a very beautiful chant, and it's addressing one of the goddesses in India called Lakshmi, or Shri for short. And she's the goddess of abundance. So if we feel that we're lacking or we feel afraid, it's often good to think of what we have. Think of the abundance that we have, what we're grateful for. So this chant reminds me of what I'm grateful for. I have a home, I have loved ones, I have beautiful pets, and my life is abundant. And I hope you can connect to what you're grateful for as well today as you listen to the chant. Om Hiranyavarnam Harinim Suvarnarajatasrajam Chandram Hiranmayi Lakshmi Jatavedo Mahavaha Tam Mahavaha Jatavedo Lakshmi Manapagaminim Yasyam Hiranyam Vindeyam Gamashvam Purushanaham Ashvapurvam Rathamadhyam Hastinada Prabodhinim Shriyan Devi Mupahwaye Shrirma Devi Jushatam Kam Sosmitam Hiranya Prakara Mardranjvalantin Triptan Tarpayantim Padme Stitam Padmavarnan Tamiho Pahwaye Shriyam Om. So if in the flow of your evening you'd like to rest a little longer, maybe you've had a long day and this just feels really nice for you to just stay here, then go ahead and stay. Just ignore me, or you can even turn the video off if you like. And if you're ready to move around and come back to life, you can start to wiggle your fingers and toes, stretch and move in any way that would feel good to you. And then as you're ready, you can come back to seated if you like. Again, you're in your own space, so whatever works for you to do next is fine. If you want to come to sit and close the class with me, you can come upright and bring your palms together. So feeling grounded, acknowledging whatever other feelings may be present. And taking with you that warrior spirit, knowing that even where there's fear and uncertainty, what it asks us to do is dig deeper for a little bit more courage and strength. So I hope the practice has brought you a little more courage and strength, or whatever it is that you've needed tonight. Namaste.